A single sentence on a live stream shouldn't be able to change the way an entire industry looks at you. But that's exactly what happened here. One offhand comment, one split-second reaction, and suddenly people weren't talking about music anymore. They were talking about loyalty. They were talking about sides. And they were talking about whether Pooh Shiesty just quietly placed himself in the middle of one of the most dangerous Cold Wars in modern rap. Because what looked like a casual moment on camera wasn't casual at all. It was personal. And to understand why that moment hit the way it did, you have to go back long before the fame, long before the charts, long before anybody outside Memphis even knew his name. Pooh Shiesty didn't grow up dreaming about being a superstar. He grew up in South Memphis in Cane Creek Apartments, an area known more for survival than second chances. The kind of place where you learn early that nobody is coming to save you. Where you either adapt fast or you don't last long. Street influence wasn't something he watched from a distance. It was in the house. His father wasn't just another guy hustling on the side. He had real weight in the streets and even tried his hand at starting a label back in the mid-2000s. But that lifestyle always comes with a price. Raids, surveillance, cases, and heavy police presence were part of the environment. Not rumors, not stories, reality. Growing up around that doesn't turn you into a flashy rapper chasing attention. It turns you into someone quiet, observant, calculated, someone who watches everything and says very little. That's where his reputation started. Not loud, not reckless, just slick and always a step ahead. And that same energy carried into the people he chose to surround himself with. Before rap money, before industry meetings, before viral hooks, there was Big 30. Same city, same timing, same hunger. Along with a few others, they formed what became known as Choppa Gang or Chihuahuang. But this wasn't branding, this wasn't marketing, this was real-life alignment. Big 30 actually saw major success first. Millions of streams, early momentum, real buzz. But none of that changed the dynamic, because their bond wasn't built on who was hotter. It was built on shared experiences, shared risk, and shared consequences. Legal trouble started stacking around their circle early. Serious charges, real cases, not headline-friendly stuff. The type of situations that test whether people are really with you or just around when things are good. They stayed locked in. That tells you everything about how Pooh Shiesty moves. He doesn't treat relationships like temporary partnerships. He treats them like blood ties. Then 2021 hit and everything changed at once. Back in Blood was everywhere. Clubs, radio, charts. Pooh Shiesty went from local Memphis name to national star almost overnight. And just as fast as it rose, the pressure followed. A situation in Florida turned into a major case. What was supposed to be a simple link-up ended with people hospitalized and prosecutors describing it as a robbery gone wrong involving weapons and interstate movement. Whether you believe every detail or not doesn't really matter, because once federal charges enter the picture, the game changes completely. Shiesty bonded out, tried to keep momentum, dropped music, stayed visible, but federal cases don't go away. Eventually the pressure caught up. Plea deal happened, prison time followed. And that's when the real separation started. Because when artists go down on Fed cases, the industry usually gets quiet. People stop posting, stop tagging, stop saying names in interviews, not always out of hate, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of self-preservation. Nobody wants unnecessary attention from federal eyes. Pooh Shiesty watched that happen in real time. But not everyone disappeared. Lil Durk didn't switch up. While most people went silent, Durk kept saying "Free Shiesty" publicly. He kept his name alive in interviews. He checked on him, sent money, made sure he was straight behind the wall. That kind of support hits different. Anybody can celebrate you when you're winning. Very few people stay loud when being associated with you feels risky. When you're locked up, you don't forget who showed up, and you definitely don't forget who didn't. So by the time Pooh Shiesty finally came home, his loyalty was already sealed. Not industry loyalty, not playlist loyalty, personal loyalty. Which brings us to the live stream that set everything off. Shiesty was on live, relaxed, joking, interacting with fans. The vibe was light, nothing serious. Until a female fan casually said she didn't mess with Lil Durk. On paper, that shouldn't be a big deal. People have different tastes, different opinions. But Shiesty's energy changed instantly. You could see it in his face. This wasn't playful annoyance. This wasn't joking back and forth. This was something deeper. Because for him, Durk isn't just another rapper. That's someone who held him down when his career was on life support, and he checked himself. Tried to keep it cool, but the shift already happened. And then it escalated. Another streamer jumped in and said he was 4KT. Anyone who follows rap knows what that means. That's NBA YoungBoy's camp. Shiesty responded by acting confused. Who? On the surface, it looked harmless. But in street language, pretending you don't recognize someone's flag is worse than responding to it. It's dismissal. It's saying you're not important enough to even acknowledge. That's when the moment stopped being funny. Because now it wasn't about a live stream anymore. It was about sides. Shortly after, old prison footage started circulating. A clip of Shiesty talking about music he listened to while locked up. He mentioned NBA YoungBoy, saying they dropped music often and he played it regularly. The internet ran with it. Captions started saying he wanted to be NBA. That he chose the wrong side. That he was fake. That he switched up. But that narrative ignores reality. In prison, you don't have unlimited playlist. You listen to what's available. Listening to someone's music does not equal allegiance. Loyalty isn't about what you play in your headphones. It's about who shows up when everything collapses. And in Shiesty's world, Lil Durk showed up. Durk and YoungBoy's situation goes way deeper than music. It's tied to real losses, real disrespect, and real lines that can't be erased. Once you align with one side, neutrality disappears. Shiesty didn't randomly pick a team. His loyalty was earned. He's been in Durk's environments, around his people, comfortable enough to move freely. You don't do that unless there's trust. Family level trust. So when Shiesty brushed off 4KT, it wasn't ignorance, it was a choice. And choices like that come with consequences. YoungBoy has one of the most dedicated fan bases in rap. His camp doesn't take perceived disrespect lightly. Once tension starts, it rarely stays contained to comment sections. It affects shows, it affects collaborations, it affects who feels safe being in the same spaces. The craziest part is Shiesty and YoungBoy never really had a personal problem. This is association beef. Your friends' enemies become yours whether you want that or not. Memphis culture adds another layer. Loyalty is heavy there. Respect is earned through consistency, not convenience. From Shiesty's perspective, there was never a decision to make. When someone holds you down during Fed time, that's for life. This situation isn't over. Tension like this doesn't just disappear. It either cools off quietly, or it turns louder. And every move from here on out will be watched. Because what people witnessed on that live stream wasn't a rapper being sensitive. It was a man moving off memory. Off who stood next to him when the lights were off and the industry went silent. A lot of artists talk about loyalty. Very few are willing to let loyalty cost them something. Pooh Shiesty already accepted that cost. Now the only question left is, does this stay an internet moment? Or did we just watch the beginning of something much bigger?